Fellas, Algeria being accused of sending back immigrants in the desert. So whenever they arrest black immigrants from sub-Saharan Africa, they send them to the desert to die. Is this true? We're gonna find out about this. South Africa. A mother sold a child for 20,000 rand, equivalent to $1,000, to a voodoo doctor to get her eyes and skin extracted. Why would the mother do that? We're gonna find out about this. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. Pick up my coffee. Yeah, pick up my coffee. I'm in a good mood today, fellas. Pick up my coffee. Yeah, I love it. Pick up my coffee is Swahili of clap your hand. You know, when we go like that, we all clap our hand. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. This is a beautiful day. It's very cold outside. So yeah, you've never seen me like this. I hate it when it's cold. Am I the only one that hates it when it's cold? I hate it. I'd rather be hot. I can jump in a pool or, splash some water. But when it's cold, what do? It's just crazy. I get upset, unhappy. I just hate it. Anyway, today we're going to talk about something very interesting. We are in Algeria. Here is Algeria. So Algeria has been accused of taking black immigrants to the desert and abandoning them there so they can die. And this is crazy. As you would imagine, the desert is not the nicest place to be. So it gets extremely hot during the day and freezing during the night. So as you would imagine, it's not a nice place to be, whether it's during the day or during the night. And especially if you don't know which direction to go. I mean, this is the desert. When you're in the desert, sometimes it looks like the ocean. You cannot see the horizon. So imagine in this place, you're walking. You don't know which direction you're going. So maybe you lost. And sometimes people abandon just a few kilometers from the next village, not knowing there is actually a next village. After walking for 10 hours, you're done. Now, are these allegations true? Algeria is said to be rounding up migrants, busing them to a remote area in the Sahara Desert, forcing them to cross over the border into neighboring Niger. The practice is known as pushbacks. An NGO monitoring migration in the region says up to 4,000 migrants and refugees have arrived in the Nigerian town of Asamaka in April alone. 4,000 people have arrived in a village in Niger named Asamaka. We're talking about 4,000 that have arrived. We're not talking about the people that have not arrived. Asamaka is about 15 kilometers from point zero. This is the location Algerian authorities are dumping the migrant. Once abandoned there, they have no choice but to walk for hours in extreme temperatures, often without food and water.
They took everything away from us. Money, mobile phone. I couldn't take anything at all with me, apart from these 2 buckets you can see.
So basically, this has been happening for quite some time. In the past, many migrants coming from West Africa especially would walk up north looking to reach Europe. Okay, they expect to have a better life in Europe and they will walk. Why do they walk to Europe instead of asking for a visa, you're asking? So it's very simple. European Union don't issue visas to Africans. No, not as much as you think. Very little. A matter of fact, they will accept your visa application, which doesn't come empty. Your visa application always comes with a payment. Maybe $100 or $200 or $300 payment. But at the end, they already know you're not going to be issued a visa. So basically, it's a big business for Europe. They make money out of Africans requesting or asking for visas, knowing, well, that they're not going to issue them visas. So obviously, if you try the first time, the second time, you think maybe on the third time, you're going to be okay. So people are willing to sell the best things they have, sell their houses, sell their land, sell their plot, hoping to have enough money so they can go and apply for a visa. But once you've done it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, you're like, I think I've wasted money. I need to find all that I can and gather my strength and just walk to Europe. And that's what a lot of Africans, especially in West Africa, have been doing. They will walk all the way up to some of the northern African countries. Let me just remind you here, in the northern African countries, the majority of people are not necessarily black. They look a little bit more Arab. Some will say Berber. And unfortunately, some of them do not necessarily perceive themselves as Africans. Not all, but some. And their attitude toward black people, it's usually very hostile. So when you see black people coming into your country, knowing well they're trying to cross your country to go to Europe, your natural instinct, if you're one of those people, is to not treat them appropriately because you don't like the fact that they're there. Well, there's been a lot of stories of black people who are native to Northern Africa being treated as slaves. If not as slaves, at least as second-grade citizens.
That's what they say. They allow no black West Coast people to enter the country. The police people always harass, beat up people, molest people.
Obviously, there are also groups of defenders that are autochthon to Northern African countries that do not agree with this. The majority of people, unfortunately, do not like this. Now, Algeria. Algeria has been sending black people back to Niger by force through the desert. They dump you in the desert. They say, okay, dude, walk, find your way. They don't give a continental. Whether you survive or not, it's your problem. The problem is this is never really used to happen in the past. Until in 2015, when the European Union had a meeting with the Algerian government, where they had a discussion about immigration. And some people believe the European Union, even though it's not said officially, gave Algeria money so they can fight immigration for them. The European Union thought, let's resolve the issue from the origin instead of trying to resolve it here in Europe. Let's block those black people, Africans, from Africa before they come here. Therefore, many people think that's one of the main reasons that many black people that go illegally into countries like Algeria get mistreated without no fear. Algeria in some ways is only doing its job. I mean, it's receiving money from Europe. Beat them real bad, throw them in jail or sometime in the desert so they can send a message back home that you don't go through Algeria or else you're going to be mistreated. And by doing so, you're preventing us, Europe, from having a lot of black people coming here. Now, the bottom line is, for those of you who don't understand, people will walk from West Africa to Northern Africa and try to find an opportunity to find some of these boats, as you can see. These are artisanal boats, like a rudimentary boat. They will jump on it, pay some dudes, and the dude will cross them all over to Europe. Then they will try to find a way inside Europe. Sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it doesn't, and many people lose their lives like this. Now, does this make sense? It makes no sense for me. I just find it absolutely absurd that somebody will leave his country, with the money that you spend. I mean, you surely spent more than $3,000 at least, sometimes more, to try to cross all over there. I mean, what are you looking for in Europe? Number one, people see things on TV, they think Europe is as beautiful as what they see on TV. Same for me, when I went to America, I was like, oh, okay, so is this destroyed? Yeah. Wow, yeah. Why? Because what you see on TV is not the reality, and nobody's there to. And also, there are Africans that lie to other Africans. There are Africans living in Europe and America that lie to other Africans that life is much better here. Things are wonderful. Money falls off the trees. That's why many Africans believe, if I found a way to leave my country and just go to Europe, perhaps America, my life will change. Look at my friend. He put pictures on Facebook next to a Ferrari. He's bought a Ferrari, not knowing the friend just stood somewhere next to somebody else's car. He doesn't even know whose car it is. People don't tell the truth. Many Africans feel like they're leaving poverty. They're running away from dictatorship, going to foreign countries, not understanding that by going away and abandoning, you are basically abandoning your future, because this is your future. Let's say you go to Europe or America and Trump sends you back. How much money would you have lost and resources? That's really sad, isn't it? Number four, you're asking yourself, why can't Africans come together and fight off these dictators? Well, it's very simple. Many Africans, even though they speak out, have uncles and cousins in higher hands. Their siblings run governments. Their nephews earn money from the dictatorship government. Therefore, it becomes very difficult for them to express themselves openly and say, stop mistreating us, stop killing us. So as much as they want a better life, it's just sad to see that they cannot stand. The other point is tribalism. The sad thing for Africans is they will point a finger at the president saying he's a bad president. But if somebody from a different tribe point a finger at the president, they don't like it. Why? Because the president is from his tribe. So there are many Africans that support dictatorship and vicious government just because the government is run by people who speak the same mother tongue as them. That is very sad. That raises a big question. Is democracy as it is today working for Africans? It clearly is not. Now, the big question is this one. Is Algeria doing wrong by taking an African and putting them in the desert and say, dude, go there. If you survive, you survive. If you unalive yourself, you unalive yourself. It's none of our business. Morally, it sounds bad, but do we have any ground to blame Algeria for trying to protect the integrity of its territory? Absolutely not. And now, fellas, we're moving to South Africa. Well, in South Africa, some very, very sad story has been announced. A woman has been arrested for the disappearance of her child. She has been convicted of kidnapping and trafficking her own daughter. The woman's name is Kelly Smith, and her boyfriend's name is Jackin Apolis. The both have been arrested and their friends for the disappearance of the child. The child, Jocelyn, went missing from outside her home in Saldanha Bay in Cape Town. The lady went to the police to say, my child has disappeared. This is very traumatic. I'm very sad. She was crying. She was all over the place. And people felt sorry for her. As you can see, this lady is not black. She is colored. In South Africa, she will be classified as colored. And for those of you who don't understand, in South Africa, black and coloreds are different. Black are people as black as me. Coloreds are usually people a little bit brownish, whose ancestry sometimes has mixtures of Asia and Africa and many other places. Now, this lady went to the police complaining about the disappearance of her child, saying it's very sad. People feel sorry for a woman crying over a child who's 6 years old. Later on, the police found it suspicious because as they were looking for the child, the mother was busy about the whereabouts of her boyfriend, not of a child. So she was more preoccupied about where's my boyfriend and where's the child who's just disappeared. That raised many questions. And later on, they found out that she had sold the child to a sangoma. What's a sangoma? A sangoma is an equivalent to a traditional healer in South Africa. She had apparently sold the child to a sangoma for beautiful green eyes and a lovely skin. As you can imagine, so they're probably going to use her eyes and skin for witchcraft. Yes. That's some of the crazy things that are happening still today in Southern Africa. How are they going to use the skin? You probably have imagined it. They're going to unalive that little girl and mix the skin with some condiment to heal, chronic disease or some nonsense like that. Yes. In other instances, a very sad situation we've heard of is some people still believe in some areas of Southern Africa, especially in South Africa. Some stupid people believe that if you have sickness like HIV by having, with a virgin child, you know what I mean? You will be healed of your disease. Yes, they still believe that's stupidity. And usually, sometimes, the power of a spell, job or opportunities in life is as strong as the age of the child. So if they use the body of a child to do some sort of a spell, your spell is going to be very, very strong. Apparently, this lady sold a child because she's a druggie. Yes, she needed money. Her friend and neighbor told on her. She said the lady told her she had done something silly. She sold Jocelyn to a traditional healer. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're just stupid enough, you open your mouth and you speak things, what did I just say? That's what happened. She also said that the person she sold her to wanted her for her eyes and her skin. Beautiful eyes. Poor little girl. And a local pastor testified that in 2023, she admitted to her that she wanted to sell a child for 20,000 rand, equivalent to $1,000 or less, because she needed money urgently and she knows how she's going to get the child back. Now, you're probably asking yourself, who are sangomas? Sangomas are legally recognized in South Africa under the Traditional Health Practitioner Act 2007, alongside herbalists, traditional birth attendant, and traditional surgeons. So they are recognized by the government. South Africa's kept a lot of traditional, cultural, custom stuff. They believe in custom. A lot of South Africans are not necessarily Christians or Muslims. Actually, you rarely find a Muslim South Africa. Almost never existed. And a lot of people, especially in Zululand, do believe in ancestry. Ancestors, the power of the ancestors. Some people limit themselves there, but some other people go to the extent of believing on things that are obscure and dark, as you would expect. Positive priest, negative priest, white priest, black priest. It's as bad as that. So some people believe I can throw curse on you by using blood, human blood, crazy stuff like that. This is surely not a belief of everybody, but a lot of people still believe in that. And the sad part, like I mentioned earlier, people would believe that in order to heal of their chronic disease, they need to have an encounter with a virgin little girl. That's very sad. Some charlatans are also involved in unscrupulous traditional so-called cures that have been known to sell good luck charms that involves body part. That's what it is, fellas. In Algeria, they're taking people like yourself. I mean, yeah, throwing you to the desert because you're coming there illegally. Go to the desert and go find yourself. You found your way or you dead. South Africa is finally bringing to justice this lady that lied to everybody, saying a child had disappeared, crying. Then they discovered that in fact she sold the child to a traditional healer and even told somebody that she believes that the child is right now in a container on her way to West Africa. Why West Africa? Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.